Hello everyone, this is my presentation for my senior project final. My senior project was an Android app that was going to be useful for my own purposes in recording my vehicle maintenance and repair information for my family fleet of vehicles. I do a lot of my own repair and maintenance, and oftentimes a big challenge for me is to remember when a maintenance task or repair was performed, and that sometimes will throw off the maintenance schedules if I can't remember exactly when it was that I did the last set of maintenance or when a repair happened. So I figured I would build myself an Android app that could be useful in helping me maintain those things. So I'll go ahead and share a little bit about that app and what I was able to accomplish this semester with it. If you review the tasks that I originally wanted to accomplish, I had two parts to this app. Part one was mainly focused on data, and part two was focused on the interface. Part one, for my core tasks, I wanted to set up a SQLite database with proper schema and design. SQLite is a local data store that Android can use on the devices to persist data throughout your app. I'd never used SQLite before, so I thought that was an interesting option for being able to store data on the local device that the app is installed on. So I was able to design a database with the appropriate tables that I needed to be able to accomplish the data storage that I needed. I also needed to learn how to interface Android with SQLite. I'm brand new to Android, in both Android and Java, I guess. And so learning to interface with SQLite was going to be important. Learning what the best practices were for transferring data, being able to create, read, update, and destroy data from the SQLite database were all things that I needed to learn, as well as populate the SQLite database with useful data, which can sometimes be difficult since a lot of data out there isn't free. However, I was able to find some third-party free applications that were able to help me populate my database with some useful data that could at least get it off the ground. My hope tasks, I had hoped to incorporate further data via third-party APIs, and my ultimate hope was I had three sections of this app that I wanted to build out. The first one was my garage area, where you're able to keep track of your vehicles, like adding, editing, deleting, so on and so forth. And keeping track of your maintenance records. And then I had a gas tracker section that I wanted to incorporate some logic regarding gas prices, specifically something like Gas Buddy, where you could pull in from third-party APIs data about gas prices, gas stations that are nearby, and produce some logic that could help provide fuel-efficient routes as well as fuel-efficient locations for gas stations when you need to fill up. And the third section was the settings area, where users could put in their preferences. There's actually one more section I wanted to incorporate with third-party APIs, and that was an in-app shopping section where if a repair needed to take place and it needed parts, that via third-party APIs I could look up the parts and the prices that were there and possibly even be able to purchase them through the app. That was another hope that I had. Dream tasks, I would have liked to have established a remote relational database to use as a central data store, one that sits on the cloud, that the Android app itself will sync data with its local database, just to provide a more centralized data store rather than just on the single device. That way it can be synced across multiple devices. In order to do that, I also need to learn how to sync local and remote databases using syncing algorithms and best practices. From part one, what I was able to accomplish was just the core tasks. I was able to set up a SQLite database with good schema and design. I learned how to interface Android with SQLite, which was very difficult to do, in my opinion. Extremely boilerplate, and there was a lot of oddness to it that I didn't favor entirely. And then also to populate the SQLite database with some useful data. I was able to do that via some free third-party APIs and being able to gather data from there. Like it says, the hope and dream tasks I weren't able to accomplish, mostly because of the focus on the core tasks. In part 2, the core tasks were to design a working interface using pre-built SDK elements and widgets. Specifically, Android has design guidelines they like you to follow using their pre-built elements to provide a consistent user interface among all of the different apps and devices that are out there. So as part of that, I wanted to build a good interface that utilized those already pre-built widgets. Be able to gracefully handle user interaction, including touch events, gestures, and data input. Handle clicks, handle long presses, any kind of gestures that may go on, and provide just a all-around user-friendly environment. Provide minimum functionality for adding, editing vehicles, and maintenance repair records. Again, that was the minimum functionality that I would like to have got out of it. Hope tasks to extend the functionality to include alerts of maintenance schedules through Android notifications. So if it came time to have another oil change, it would alert my phone or my device, whichever one it's installed on, that the time for an oil change had come. And again, gas pricing logic and a settings area for user preferences. Dream tasks to design a custom user interface using its customization capabilities, just to break out of the norm of what a vanilla Android app looks like, and to really customize it with a unique design to make it my own. And then part B was discussed earlier with extending the functionality to include in-app auto parts shopping via the third-party APIs. So with this one, again, I was only able to finish the core tasks. Couldn't get around to any of the hope tasks or the dream tasks at this point, but it does have a working interface using pre-built SDK elements and widgets. It handles user interaction, as well as it provides the minimum functionality that I was looking for in the app originally. So now I'll go ahead and demonstrate the app. The way I have it set up at this point is I installed a Android virtual machine on my machine that I'm running right now, and they did a port of the Android system over to x86, so you can run it on Intel architecture and have a really an Android emulator in a way running on your own computer. Android does have an emulator that you can install on your computer to install apps and test them out, but through experience I found that the emulator that Android provides is really slow, and its hardware integration isn't very good. So I decided to just install Android x86 natively on the computer, really via a virtual machine. So I've already installed my app. It doesn't have a very exciting name. It's just called Car App. As soon as more functionality goes into it, I'll be looking at designing a logo as well as coming up with a new name for it. If you click on the app, you're presented here with the first page. It's got 3 different tabs: the My Garage tab, the Gas Tracker, and the Settings tab. Gas Tracker and Settings is still empty because I wasn't able to incorporate anything there. But you can click plus up here, and that will allow you to add a new vehicle to your garage. I'm just going to add a couple of my own vehicles that I have and work with just for demonstration purposes. So the vehicle I drive is 1998 Dodge Ram 1500. It has 120,721 miles, and its VIN number is the following. Okay, and then you just click add, and that will add a new car to your garage, and it will notify you that that you have a new car. And I'm just going to go ahead and add a couple more vehicles to the garage here just for some giggles. My wife drives a 1999 Buick, and the car is a Century. Has 150,637 miles, and here's the VIN. just going to go ahead and add one more to demonstrate something else. 2003 Mazda Tribute. 60,422 miles, and I don't know the VIN number on this one, so I'm just going to put in some fake information. Click add. So there we go. We have my garage has some vehicles in it now. If you click on one of the vehicles, take you to the vehicle detail view. Here, there's not a ton of information on this page. Over here, we have some vehicle notifications. That's not currently implemented. That was something that I wanted to accomplish later. But we have the basic information about the vehicle here, its current mileage, and of course the vehicle info. You can come in here and you can click edit to edit the vehicle information. Let's say that I mistakenly, or that I've driven, you know, another 90 miles or so, and I need to update my vehicle mileage to 120,800. And you click update, and that will update the information in the database as well as refresh the view that you're in. If I need to add a vehicle maintenance record, I can come in here and I can choose, you know, let's do engine oil. Let's say that the engine oil was changed right at 120,000, and the cost for one, she's about $19.99, and the mechanic shop that did it was, we'll say, Guy's Automaster. Click add. Now we have a record in here that shows that we have a maintenance that occurred on April 28th, 2014 for engine oil, the cost as well as who did it. Let's just add another one just for fun. This one will do a repair. Back several thousand miles ago, I actually had radiator repair done. It was about 115,000. It was quite expensive, cost me about 125 bucks, and we'll say that Guy's was the one that did it as well. God. So we have a couple of records here. If you need to get rid of one, you can long press down on one of them and it'll come up and ask you if you'd like to delete this repair record. You can click OK and that will get rid of it for you if you don't need it. Optionally, you can also come into, let's say this Mazda, I want to get rid of it, I don't need it. So you can come up here and you just click delete. I will ask you if you want to delete the vehicle. You can click OK and it's gone out of your garage now. So that's the minimum functionality that I was going after. I was able to accomplish that. I found with Android that it is quite a beast to develop for Android. There's a lot of gotchas and a lot of quirks that you have to learn, both with Android as well as the language that's written in Java. So a lot of it was just wrestling with the SDK, making the elements work for you, and trying to figure out the quirks. But I was glad that I was able to get the minimum functionality I was looking for up and running, and I hope to be able to extend it even further in hopes that I can have an app that will be extremely useful for me. This is already useful as it stands right now, but also one that I could potentially put on the Google Play Store and maybe even sell. So that is my presentation of my final app. If you end up having any questions when I submit my written report, I'll have my email address in there, so you can contact me if you have any questions about it. Thank you.